If I were to tell you that there was a person who earned a staggering 34,999 crore 219, 5,000 rupees, approximately $420 million every single week, you might find it almost impossible to believe. Imagine a scenario where someone once so financially strained that they had to abandon their college education, later becomes so immensely wealthy that they spend lakhs of rupees every month just to purchase rubber bands to bind their enormous piles of cash. This same individual, who began their criminal career by selling fake diplomas and lottery tickets and later moved to car theft, found themselves in a situation where a staggering 10% of their earnings, equivalent to 2.1 billion US dollars or 174 billion Indian rupees, was lost to rats or due to damp conditions in their properties. This extraordinary tale centers around Pablo Escobar, the world's most infamous drug lord and kingpin of the cocaine trade. Based in Colombia, Escobar played a pivotal role in supplying the global demand for cocaine during the 1980s, earning him the notorious title of the Colombian drug lord. His journey from a poor farmer's son to one of the most powerful figures in the criminal world is a remarkable story of ambition, power, and ruthlessness. In this detailed exploration, we will delve into how a poverty-stricken youth transformed into the most formidable drug trafficker of the 1980s, and how a minor kidnapper acquired enough influence to alter the laws of his country to suit his own needs. Let's examine his life in intricate detail. Colombia, located in the northwest of South America, is the backdrop for our story. It is here, near Medellin, that Pablo Escobar was born on December 1st, 1949. From a young age, Pablo harbored grand aspirations of becoming the president of Colombia. However, his father's modest earnings from farming were insufficient to fund his higher education. His mother, a schoolteacher, managed to cover his basic schooling with her limited salary, but the financial strain of further education proved insurmountable. Witnessing his family struggle with poverty profoundly affected Pablo and fueled his determination to become a millionaire by the age of 22. During his college years, Pablo began his foray into crime out of necessity. He initially engaged in the petty crime of removing and selling gravestones from cemeteries. As his financial situation did not improve significantly from this venture, he escalated his criminal activities to luxury car theft. By 1974, Pablo's involvement in car theft led to his first arrest. While his initial foray into crime was driven by desperation, it soon evolved into a more lucrative and thrilling pursuit. Pablo's growing success in the criminal world led him to venture into kidnapping for ransom. His reputation as a skilled and daring kidnapper grew after he successfully abducted Diego HRV, a prominent Colombian businessman, and secured a ransom of $50,000. The success of this high-profile kidnapping cemented Pablo's status as a significant player in Colombia's criminal underworld. His involvement in the cocaine trade marked a major turning point in his career. Recognizing the enormous profit potential in the drug trade, Pablo joined a drug-dealing gang and quickly formed connections with major drug dealers. A crucial moment in his ascent occurred during a confrontation with Fabio Restrepo, a powerful drug lord in Medellin. After a heated argument, Pablo killed Fabio, marking his entry into the upper echelons of the cocaine industry. His dominance in the drug trade grew rapidly as he expanded his operations. By March 1976, Pablo's wealth had reached astronomical levels. He amassed a fleet of 20 helicopters, 2 submarines, and 32 ships dedicated to his drug smuggling operations. Additionally, he controlled 142 airplanes, with one of only 2 private jets in Colombia at the time. Pablo's smuggling methods were highly innovative. Initially, he concealed cocaine inside the stomachs of fish, but when this method became compromised, he devised a new technique soaking jeans in a cocaine solution. The dried jeans were packed in cardboard and exported. In the destination country, his associates would extract the cocaine from the jeans by soaking them in a chemical solution. When law enforcement eventually uncovered this method, Pablo adapted once more. He continued exporting jeans, but the jeans themselves were no longer infused with cocaine. Instead, the cardboard used for packing was soaked in a cocaine solution. This allowed Pablo to evade detection as authorities focused on inspecting the jeans. This ingenious method allowed him to send 15 tons of cocaine to the US every day. Pablo's wealth was so immense that he had to construct over 800 houses to store his cash. When these properties proved inadequate, he began burying his money underground. His opulence reached such heights that he once burned $2 million in cash to keep warm during a cold night. His estate, Hacienda Nápoles, was a sprawling property featuring its own zoo with exotic animals, an airport, and man-made lakes. This estate was a symbol of his unparalleled wealth and ambition. Recognizing the importance of political influence for his protection, Pablo made a bold offer to the Colombian government. He would provide $10 billion equivalent to 80,000 crores in rupees to support the country's needs in exchange for government backing of his drug business. The government rejected his offer, prompting Pablo to seek political power through other means. He invested heavily in building churches, parks, football stadiums, and schools, and began distributing money to the poor. His philanthropic activities earned him a position as an alternate member of the Colombian Congress in 1982. Pablo's political career, however, was short-lived. Opposition parties quickly exposed his criminal activities, leading to his resignation in 1984. Despite this setback, Pablo's wealth continued to grow. By 1989, he was ranked as the 7th richest man in the world, with a net worth of $25 billion. On November 27, 1989, Pablo orchestrated a bomb attack on Avianca Flight 203, killing 107 people in an attempt to assassinate presidential candidate Cesar Gaviria Trujillo. Additionally, he formed a private army named CCs and spent approximately $1 billion to eliminate his enemies. His reign of terror led to the deaths of around 4,000 people, including judges, police officers, and government officials. By 1992, Colombia had become the murder capital of the world, with an alarming number of killings. Facing mounting international and domestic pressure, Colombian President Cesar Gaviria issued an ultimatum to Pablo's surrender or face severe consequences. Pablo negotiated two conditions for his surrender: the abolition of the extradition treaty with the U.S., which allowed for the extradition of criminals, and the right to be imprisoned in a facility of his own design, with no police presence allowed nearby. The Colombian government, pressured by both international and local forces, reluctantly agreed to his terms. Pablo's prison, La Catedral, was more like a luxurious resort than a conventional jail. It featured amenities such as a swimming pool, cinema, and even an airport. Despite being confined, Pablo continued to manage his criminal empire from within the prison. The Colombian government eventually decided to relocate him, but Pablo, aware of the impending transfer, managed to escape with his associates. For the next 2 years, he evaded capture. On December 1, 1993, Pablo's 44th birthday, he was located by the Search Block, a joint U.S.-Colombian task force. While he celebrated with his family, the task force traced his phone call to his hiding place in Medellin. They surrounded the house, and an officer fired 3 bullets, killing Pablo. After his death, it was revealed that his hidden wealth included $18 million found inside a wall of one of his properties. This is the dramatic and tumultuous story of Pablo Escobar. If you found this narrative compelling, you might also be interested in our video on the Sarah scam, which explores Sobrado Roy's rise from humble beginnings to building a vast empire. For more captivating content, check out the link in the description below. See you in the next video.